That's just to get the audio synced up.
Oh.
Yeah, don't worry. I didn't clap just because I'm an idiot.
Well,
Come on, man.
Well.
Whoa.
You sure?
Whoa. Come on now. Come on. Who's been editing this podcast? Andrew.
All right.
Yeah,
all
let's say
right.
it. Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right, you guys ready?
Thought you weren't wearing any pants.
No, I'm wearing shorts.
Okay.
Well, all right, that's recorded forever. All right, you guys ready? All right, and welcome to the 5th episode of Up Until Now podcast. I am your co-host, JD.
I'm your other co-host, Andrew.
And today we have a very special impromptu guest, my girlfriend. We are currently dating, so that's why she's my girlfriend. And this is...
Hi, I'm Esther.
Yeah, so she was just in the apartment, and we decided, hey, if you want to come in and do an episode of the podcast, that's great. And she agreed. Thank you for being here, babe.
You're welcome. I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, you've probably heard me record a couple of these episodes, so, you know.
Yes.
Today, we're all in the same room again. It's been a while since we've done this like together, like face to face, right?
Yeah, it's when's the last time I came?
I don't know. I think it's been like a month.
It's been a month because we haven't even recorded a lot these days because of all the holidays.
Yeah.
Because of Christmas, Thanksgiving, and New Year's, we haven't really seen each other. And I've been going through shit, but hey, here we are.
Hey. So I guess today we're just kind of bringing in a new person because we're going to be talking about a topic that Andrew and I are really knowledgeable in, I guess.
New to
/ knowledgeable.
kind of, sort of, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's more that it's kind of focused on dating in like the modern age, specifically with like dating apps and online dating. I don't have a lot of experience, if at all, with it.
I was gonna say, do you have any experience in it?
I did have Tinder in college, like my freshman year, but it was because everyone had Tinder, and it was just because everyone had it.
I never had any of those. I recently just got Tinder, and I tried Bumble, but I deleted that.
Why did you delete Bumble?
I don't know. It's just it's weird. It's like so judgmental on Bumble.
Really?
Cause Bumble goes into like so much like different things. Like, oh, Zodiac. Oh, she has to make the first move. Oh, like I'm a Christian. I love fucking Jesus, and if you don't, I won't accept you. Stuff like that. I don't know. Like,
Is it like that, Esther? Like, I don't think I've ever heard of that.
I don't know, because Bumble, I guess they might have made some app changes. And so when I first downloaded it, it was in 2016. And so they asked questions like bios about you, but they didn't ask about like Zodiac. I'm not into that.
yeah, they go into all of that now.
Yeah. So I don't know.
That is so bizarre. I feel like...
Well, I'm not bashing on Bumble or anything. It's just, for me, it's just, I don't know. Tinder is like so much easier to use, you know? It's just so simple.
Yeah, because just swipe and look at pictures, and that's it.
Yeah, but like Bumble, it's like, oh, do you want to make a best friend, or do you want to get a fuck buddy or something like that? And then it's just, I don't know. It's like a generic version of Tinder, or like a more like holier version of Tinder.
That's weird. Because I think that's weird just because I guess Bumble, I think certain women like Bumble more because it empowers us to make the first move.
Well, yeah.
So like that's like their whole like pitch like on how they sell their app.
So like the stupid part, like when I had Bumble for like a week,
Yeah.
was I read like a couple of the girls' bios, and they're like, message me first. Like, I'll never message first. I was like, why the fuck are you on Bumble then? Like,
Well, then they're just well, they can't because they can't say that because you can't message them first.
no, yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like, I literally, like, once I matched with someone on Bumble, and like her profile was like, message me first. I was like, well, fuck me.
Unless they're doing it as a joke, like ha ha ha, like you can't message me first. Like I don't know, but
What kind of sick psychopath does that?
I don't know.
I don't know. I kind of like that in the fact we're going back when you said females are the only ones that can make that move first and reach out.
Yeah.
I kind of like that because it does give power back. Because I don't know about Tinder, but a couple of my friends that did do Tinder were kind of assholes, and they would just legitimately just send like dick pics. like
Ooh,
off the bat.
I don't do that.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that you do, but I'm just saying like I know people that their move was to send a dick pic like the first thing that they sent.
Or it's like a joke or whatever.
Do you want to hear what my icebreaker is? Hey, okay, hold on. Do you know how much a polar bear weighs?
That's your first message.
Enough to break the ice.
That is your first message.
Yes, boom.
That is your.
No, like I'll say like, hey, like, and like try to get the conversation going, but then like if it like sort of stops, I'll be like, oh shit, and then like that'll be like the icebreaker. I don't just straight up be like, hey, how much is a polar bear?
Interesting. Okay. Do you only have those two then, or like you tried
So I tried East meat.
coffee meets bagel?
No, what the fuck is that?
Oh, I think I've heard of that one. I think it's
Yeah.
only because of through Esther that I've heard that. But
Coffee meets bagel.
There's coffee meets bagel.
The fuck does that mean?
It's an app. It's a dating app.
Oh, never even heard of it.
Yeah.
No, it was East meets East. It's like for Asian people,
Oh.
like specified for
yes.
Asians.
I've seen it and but I didn't download it.
Okay, so like
Yeah.
the problem with me is I live in fucking America, fucking Indiana, the whitest fucking state anyone can be. There was literally no one on it. I was like,
Wow.
well, fuck me. I'll just delete that app right away.
I should do that just out of curiosity, just to see the statistics of how many Asians are in a population.
well, I think that's also a very interesting app because I've read it was a long time ago. It was like back when like dating apps started. I heard that the two demographics that did the worst is Asian American males and African American females.
Yeah. There's a lot of like research on that, and yeah, there is research on that. I've heard of it.
Kind of sad because if you think about like mainstream society, specifically for the Asian American side, because that's just who we are. When you think about like all the Asian Americans that are on TV, maybe not recently in the last like year and a half or so, but before then it was always just like the nerdy kid that doesn't do anything and is just there just for comic relief because their accent sounds funny, you know? That's only like exposure that we had as Asian American males on.
So that's what a lot of people just like view us as.
Exactly. And then even Asian American women, they do really well in those dating apps because of like the over sexualization of Asian American females.
We're a checklist.
A checklist?
I've never gotten this. I can see it, and I don't think any of my friends have gotten it. Not that I know of, but I have heard of stories of Asian American females or just Asian females on dating apps getting messages like, "Hey, you want to fuck?" or like, "Hey, you want to have sex?" And it's just it's a non-Asian man and just trying to get all the. It's so bad.
Like all the races?
All the races checked off their list that they slept with.
Oh my God.
And so like I've also heard of that. But I mean, yeah.
That's just messed up.
But I mean, females can say the same thing.
Yeah, they can.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, but
But it just sounds more wrong for a guy to do that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I don't like that. That's kind of gross. Oh my God.
But then there's some like what's like the weirdest thing that you encountered in Tinder?
I did meet a guy back in the suburbs, like the suburb area. So I can't remember how long I talked with him, but this is the worst one. We met at like Burger King because I wanted French fries, and so or like whatever.
Okay, wait. You picked Burger King fries over McDonald's fries?
I don't remember what I wanted. We just picked Burger King. Don't ask why. I don't remember.
Wait, hold on. Of all the places that you guys could have mutually decided on, it was Burger King?
It was also late at night, okay? Like it was
Burger
late.
King?
It was late. It was Burger King. We just met at Burger King. Long story short, he did not look like he did in the picture.
So he catfished you.
I guess, yes. Sure. I mean, I still like respected the guy. Like we sat down, we talked, and then we dipped. That's like the worst one. The another one I had was like I was about to meet this guy that we talked a lot actually for a good few weeks, and then I was like, why don't we like I don't know, do something in public? I don't know, I can't remember. We were about to plan a meet up, but then all of a sudden that last message before we met up, he told me, oh, by the way, my name's not Andrew, my name is I don't know, Josh. And I'm like, that's weird. I'm like, okay. I'm like, what?
Thanks for being honest.
I'm like, what? So I was really thrown off by that, so I just didn't. I just got rid of him. I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. Bye.
Yeah, well, good. What
But-
the fuck?
Other than that, I mean,
Yeah, there's some freaky girls on Tinder.
Wait, what's like the worst thing that you've
yeah,
seen?
I'm
Andrew?
like,
okay, there are some girls that will. So like I don't know who likes me because I didn't pay for it or anything. But like I'll be swiping and then like their bio would be like I sell feet pics. Like what? or like buy my feet pictures or something like it's like weird like that. It's like what the fuck?
They're probably trying to make money.
It's weird.
It's fetishes.
Some weird fetishes. Is that normal to you, like, to hear that? Like, hey, you want to buy some feet pictures, baby? Like,
No, I've never. I mean, I guess I understand like there's fetishes and people like would pay for it, but I just think that's. I mean, Tinder isn't supposed to be a dating app, so shouldn't you be doing it to date and not to get like, quote unquote, porn?
right, exactly. So it's like weird. It's like feet pornography. Like you want my toes?
Are you just gonna whisper that in the mic? You want my toes?
Maybe I should put that in my bio. Like, I'll sell you feet pics too.
Hey, you can make money off of streaming and doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
And my hands. My hand is your hand. This hand is your hand.
It's a Friends reference, Esther, if you're not familiar.
I'm not.
It's fine.
It's okay.
She can't watch it anymore. It's off Netflix.
It is. They finally got
Feels
rid of it.
bad. Okay, but another question for you, Esther. For Tinder, how long did you like, okay, so like you recently just mentioned that like you talked to someone like a week or a couple weeks before like meeting up with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like what do you think is like that ideal like before you have to meet? Or do you really think it's just like you match, you go and fuck?
I talked to the guys like a minimum of like 2 weeks maybe. Like a long time. Like cuz there are guys out there that are just looking for sex
Right.
and that just and stuff like that. And so I think for me, I just I did it because I wanted to talk to people, and so and so I actually enjoyed it, because like I was so sassy. I had so much attitude towards it. Like so, if a guy first messages me and says like, "Hey, beautiful," or "Hey, sexy," or "Hey," like basically anything but my name, I would respond back saying, "I have a name," and that's it.
Whoa.
And then depending on and then it's their turn to respond. So like some of them might apologize, some of them might say like or whatever, or they just won't respond back. And so I had a lot of fun with it because I think if anything it made me really confident cuz I did that. But I talked to them for about a good 2 weeks consistently or until we traded numbers. And then we talked for a little bit and then we met. But then when we first met, I was very strategic. Like if they said that they were a student where I was a student at, because I did it during grad school, I met on campus locations. And so like my very first Tinder date was actually at the gym because you had to have a student card in order to enter the gym. So that proves if they're a student or not. And it gives us an activity to do. So like if we can't make good conversations, at least I'm getting something out of it. Like I got a good workout in. Like he was a pretty bulky guy. So like I got to lift. Like
Okay. That's how I see it too. Like I would rather like talk and get to know them first. That's why like I never like liked dating apps because I feel like there's like that whole, the view on it. It's like you meet, you fuck, or you match, you meet, you fuck.
Yeah.
But like that's just not how I ever viewed like meeting someone and getting to know someone. So it's weird using these apps for me still. So it's like I don't like if I match with someone, like we're supposed to meet and fuck, or am I allowed to get to know you first?
No, you're allowed. I think it's just flushing out. It's like any other life quote. Like you get what you make out of it or whatever. That phrase.
You take it and you make it what you want.
Yeah.
Like if you want it to be like just a hookup app, then it's going to be a hookup app. But if you genuinely want to find somebody on those apps to relate with or just to possibly have a relationship with, those are the kinds of people that you're going to attract by your bio or just like how you message those individuals that you match with.
Mm-hmm. On the girl's perspective, I really appreciate just a hi, how are you? Or just hi, how was your day?
Hi, how are ya?
Like, not like that.
Oh, they can't hear me say that. Like, don't send voice memos.
Hi, how are ya?
That's exactly what JD said. I think I was very close to actually probably pursuing a relationship with one of the guys that I actually did meet. But
Oh, really?
I did almost.
Who?
Yes. It was some white dude.
Oh.
Ugh.
Not to be racial against white people. It's just. Oh.
It's just not
He
JD.
was a PhD student.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mhm. So
Mr. PhD.
Yeah.
What do you have?
I have a bachelor's.
That's good enough for me.
I was like, Andrew, what do you have?
I got a bachelor's too.
I mean, I guess like when it comes to that, do you think dating apps are like legitimately viable? Like, do you think that's a good way to like meet the love of your life?
People get married.
So like, I mean, I believe in meeting people online.
Uh-huh.
Like my ex I met her online.
Yeah,
And,
but
like,
it wasn't through a dating app specifically.
it wasn't through a
though.
dating app, but like it was still like that whole concept of meeting someone online. Yeah. And like I thought she was the love of my life, but wasn't. But I don't know. Like I believe in meeting someone like that, just like through an app or just online. But like, and it doesn't have to be like, oh, you ran into them in person or like you got introduced by someone.
Uh-huh.
I believe in all that, but it's a lot harder. And I don't know.
Yeah, I will say that just because I had a pool of candidates, quote quote, and so did guys, because you're doing it on a university like
Scale.
yeah, and so obviously you're gonna get a pool of people, but if you're not, or if you're doing it in a major city like LA or New York or Manhattan, you're gonna get a bigger variety of people that you can match with. So I think it also depends on like where you're living and what your radius is. Because if you live in the middle of nowhere or in a rural area, there's not gonna be a lot of people.
Okay, so here's the thing with me too. Like my radius is like 100 to like 150. Cause like, okay, I've been in long distance relationships and like 100 to 150 miles is fucking nothing to me. Like, people be like, I'm in a long distance relationship. My boyfriend's in Illinois and I'm in Indiana. I was like, that's not even long. At least you can fucking drive and go see them. Like, I have to go get a fucking plane ticket. Like, that's like, to me, like, I feel like a lot of people aren't used to like long distance. And like, my past 2 relationships have been long distance. So like, that's just what I'm used to now at this point. So like, 100 to 150 means nothing. That's like me driving to come see you.
But it's still a long time. Like, it's still quote unquote a long distance relationship.
It is, but then like to people like that seems like drastic, you know, and like they're not even willing to try it.
Okay, that makes sense. I got you.
But then like to me, that's like, oh, that's like fucking nothing. So
I think the longest relationship I've been in was like maybe like a 40, 50-minute drive.
sounds nice. That sounds nice.
So I'm gonna ask you, and then I'm gonna ask you.
She pointed at me, JD first, and then Andrew. For all you listeners.
So JD, if you were to make like an online dating app or an online dating website, what would your bio say? And I want you to pull out your phone, Andrew, and read what your bio says.
My bio says nothing.
What?
I just made it today because I came here and I was like, oh shit, we're in Illinois. There's fucking
God.
Asians here. So I made it today.
Okay, what would you both write in your bios then?
Oh God, putting me on the spot like that. I wouldn't know. I think I would put something along the lines of like, I will be your Instagram photographer boyfriend, and that's pretty much how I'll market myself in that. Because I feel like, again, in social media, it's a huge thing nowadays. So if your significant other or like anybody is like a decent photographer, it's like a huge bonus points. So I'm just like, hey, I'll be your Instagram photographer boyfriend and possible husband in the future. Who knows? That kind of thing. Something
I
along those
like
lines.
that.
Right?
Oh, I'd swipe. What is it, right or left?
Right.
I'd swipe right the shit out of you.
I think that's what I would try to market myself as. And then I'll just put like, I have a corgi because, those are very pulling in kind of, details that girls I feel like. I don't know. I'm not on those apps. Don't need to be on these apps.
See, like I think that's a big thing
yeah.
too. Like, okay, well, I'll say it when it's my turn.
And then like just like basic stuff like snowboarding and travel. I guess like I'll put that stuff in there as well. That's about it. Andrew.
Okay. So like I would put. Okay, I told JD this earlier. I would be your season 9, episode 3 Jim to your Pam. So like that, like it's. So hopefully like they know The Office, because like that's a big thing too. Like I'm a huge Office fan, and it'd be nice to have like something like relatable, like just like that icebreaker. It's like right there too, but it's the episode where it's a prank to Dwight where it's an Asian Jim. So voila, Asian. But and then stuff about pets, because I feel like that's a huge thing these days too.
Definitely.
And then pretty much like the same as JD, like traveling. I like traveling. I like to eat. And then probably like where I work, like because that's where my passion is right now.
Would you swipe right or would you swipe left on both of us, Esther?
If you write husband, I won't.
I did not write husband.
Okay. Interesting.
That I wouldn't.
Okay.
But then it also depends on the age that you want. So like if you were to like your age preference for female or male, if you were to put like 20 to 26, then I don't know, I feel like you'll freak out the younger age groups. But if you want more of like your peers, like your own age and older, maybe you could write that if that's what you're seriously looking for. And if that's what I'm looking for, then yeah, maybe. But that word is like,
that's a big commitment word.
yeah, it can. But if that's what you're looking for, that's the thing. Like, I would encourage you to write that. Yeah. But
no, I understand. Like I completely understand. But I think I put that in there because that is my kind of personality. I don't just date just to date.
Exactly.
Like it's something. It's a commitment. It's an actual like. It's a very serious and big thing for me. I can't speak for everyone else, but when it comes to dating, I don't like to waste my time. I don't like to waste my energy, my money. Like if it's just to have fun, then we could just be friends and we can split the bill all the time. Like, but if we're dating to further along our relationship and possibly end up with one another, that's more of an investment that I want to make.
We split the bill.
We split the bill, but we've been dating for almost 2 years. 2.5 years.
Do we ever split? We don't split the bill, right? It's either always you pay or I pay.
Yeah, and we always switch off. Yeah. It always just kind of evens out eventually.
Love. That's true love right there.
Yeah.
Why do we split the bill, babe?
Because sometimes I can't afford our bill. Because, okay, see, Andrew and I, we see each other not as often, so when he does come, I know it and I prepare for it. We pretty much live together, so I see you every day. I can't afford to pay the bill all the time. Like, I wish I could, but I can't.
So, like back, okay.
Anyway, I'm just kidding. Back to the conversation.
Anyways. Oh, I was going to, like, go off of what we were talking about right now. Mm-hmm. I was gonna say like back then, like when I lived in like closer to you and went to church frequently, and like that's when I had more money. There was this thing that we did, like when I have money, I'm your older brother because I'm technically older than you by 5 days.
5 days.
But then when I'm poor, we're equals, so you're allowed to pay. Cause like there's like that whole like Korean culture thing, like the young pays.
Yeah.
So like I always did it like that. So like whenever I had money, I was the older brother, and like at least I tried to be. And then when I was poor, we were equals because, pretty much the same birthdays.
Yeah.
So that's just how our, like, me and you, like, paying always worked out.
It amplified, especially when we went on our road trip, because we just didn't want to count money all the time and, like, split everything. Or if I got something that was, like, $2 more expensive, like, I'm not going to, like, bill you $2. You know, we just didn't want to deal with that crap. So,
like, I know that in the future, like, you'll get me something or I'll get you something.
Exactly.
It's not something good.
Yes, I would swipe for JD if he
takes the husband out.
Yeah,
takes the husband
that out.
Okay, you have to for mine. Imagine you knew The Office.
Like, if I knew The Office, I actually would.
Boom.
Yeah, so when I was on the dating app, I really appreciated the guys that actually took time to think about their bios. If you're looking for a girl, whether it's a friend, a fuck buddy, or a girlfriend or relationship, that you write down the things that you like to do, you like to watch, your passions, your interests, and things like that. So like writing like a quote or a reference or stuff like that, I think that's very smart because then regardless of who messages first, you'll have a topic to talk about. And then it's easier to transition into how was your day or like, hey, did you watch today's episode or like XYZ. For JD, I think if I would swipe for no offense, but for your photography, and if I didn't have a dog, probably for the dog, or if I had a dog, or since I do have a dog, like doggy play dates, or even if we don't end up being in a relationship or doing whatever, maybe we can be dog sitters or like, you know what I mean? You'll still get something out of that interaction and networking and connections. And so, yeah.
Haha. She said she'd swipe mine right away. She had to hesitate on you.
But I think I'm really disappointed, but one of my swipes and ones that I got on Tinder, he was a pilot. He flew planes.
What? You look so disappointed and like you're like, oh, fuck.
So it was just an old dream of mine that like ever since I was a kid, like after seeing Star Wars, there's a plane in Star Wars called the X-wing fighter. So the X-wing when it flies out, the wings are flat, but then when it starts flying, the wings move. So I always thought that was like the coolest fucking thing ever. So growing up, I always wanted to be like a commercial pilot. Like I wanted to get my pilot's license. And it's still something that I want to do today. It's just really expensive and I don't have the funds to do it. But it's definitely on like my bucket list, like to get my pilot's license.
Yeah, I definitely matched with someone that was a pilot, and by the end of the conversation, he invited me out and to like fly. He's like, yeah, we should totally fly sometime or something like that. I think I responded, and then we did some conversation after, but then it just it went dead for whatever reason. And so I'm just like, well, that sucks.
You know, I saw like one of those like top lists on Tinder things, and I heard that pilot was like pretty high up there.
Yeah, because girls love to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they want to get those Instagram shots.
Right? Free traveling, like why not?
Dude, if you think about it, if I was a pilot and a photographer, like
Oh my God.
GG, game over.
Like tell the girl, hey, take the fucking steering wheel. I'll take your picture real quick. We might die, but I got you a good picture.
Nah, dude, autopilot.
I forgot that's a thing.
Yeah, autopilot, bro. Anyways, I guess that kind of like moves forward, I think, with dating in general and how much it's changed. Like, for example, me, I was never on the dating apps except my freshman year of college when everyone had it. And I was like, I don't know what it is, but, you know, I'll try it. I always just met people through people. And I just I'm more of like a in-person, person-to-person kind of. And that's just how I relate to people. So going through an app was always really difficult for me because I felt that I'm not the best looking guy, objectively speaking, but when it comes to my personality, I feel like I kind of excel at that. I'm able to like converse, I'm able to have witty comebacks and just kind of be fun and a high energy person to be around. But I could never like portray that over an app, so I never liked it.
So I disagree. I think you do really well in it because you're good at talking. You're good with your words. And when we first started reconnecting, that's all we did. Like, all we did was talk. We would text back and forth. We would, through different outlets, and we would continue conversations, and you're good with that. And so, and we didn't see each other that often either at the time. We just kept in touch. And honestly, like, that's when my feelings started to kind of rise because I enjoy talking with you. And I don't like, for me personally, like, emotion plays a big role in my relationships. If there is no emotional relationship, like if I can't connect with the person, it's boring. Like you can't talk to them. Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna have sex all day? Like, not that that's a bad thing, but like 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 did that like
My
that
God. Jesus.
But, like, yeah, for me personally, I think you do well in it.
There is a caveat to that. I completely agree. I think my wordplay, and I think Andrew knows the way that I write messages and the way that I can write messages. It's very intriguing and it pulls people in, and I completely agree. But the hardest part for me is to get to that point. The whole basis and the whole premise of these dating apps is you get a quick look at their face and a quick bio, and they have to make a snap decision on there at that point. I usually never make it past that snap decision.
You don't know that. You never tried.
Back in college, when I had those, like had the dating app, I realized that when it got to getting to match with people, it was always difficult to match with people. And I wasn't sure if that was because if it was me or if it was just because the girls and the range and the demographic that I had set out for myself was too specific to college, and college girls are just not looking for things like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so it was always hard for me to get past the point of like that initial reaction because again, objectively speaking, I'm not the best looking guy compared to all the people out there on those dating apps.
But you don't know that.
I mean, that just has to go with like how you view yourself.
Exactly. That's a lot on like more of like self-confidence
Right.
and like your insecurities. That's not on.
But like, I mean, I don't want to speak for JD, but like I've dealt with insecurities like my whole life.
I mean, I think everyone has.
Well, yeah, I have them.
But then like there are those people like who know they're hot shots. Those are the kind of people that you imagine you're going against, right? So like you put that own thing in your own head, saying like, oh, those are the kind of guys I'm going to be competing against. So like that's why you put yourself down. Like that's what I'm doing right now. I was like, what the fuck? Like if I see like a really attractive girl, and I'll be like, out of my league, out of my league, out of my league, and like I won't even bother even like trying, cause like I just put myself down a lot. I don't know why. Like it's like you. Like I can have a conversation.
Mhm.
Like I know I have a solid personality and shit.
For sure.
But then it's just I can't get myself to just be like, oh, maybe.
Interesting.
It's there's a lot to do with it.
Yeah, I guess that's a big thing, and I don't know if that is the same on the female end, because I know for guys it's the ego and like going up against these hot shots is what kills us the most. Not even just in dating apps, but even like going to a bar and just talking to like a stranger. Is it the same on the female end?
I don't know. I'm not gonna speak for other females because I don't know.
I
but,
guess
like,
for you personally.
but for me, like I said, I had fun with the app because I was just if anything, it just helped me practice my confidence. I would swipe on anyone who I thought was good looking or attractive or who had very thoughtful bios or anything like that. I just would do it. If we connect, great. If we don't, we don't. If we meet for the first time and they don't like me, bye. Like, I don't need you. Like, and so if anything, looking back, I think during that time that I had it, it has taught me a lot of self-confidence of how I present myself. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it's not like I was faking it or anything. I was still being me. I still have my shy moments and quiet moments, but like, it helped me learn what I wanted or what I needed or what I deserved as an individual, as me and stuff. So,
damn, you sound really confident.
I
See, like I don't have that confidence. Like if I get to know you, like I can be confident like that. Like I can be confident around JD. Like I don't give a shit. But and like I'm sure I could be confident around you because like we're at that friendship level. But like to new people, like I'm so introverted that like I can't get myself to do that unless I'm with JD. Like JD brings my extrovertness is out in me because he's extroverted, and like I just naturally like go with the flow with him. So it's just so much easier. So like a lot of people have been telling me like go out, meet friends. But it's like where the fuck am I going to go out and meet friends like without friends? I can't do that alone. I can't get myself to do that. So it's like that endless cycle of like, oh, I really want to go out and meet friends right now, but I'm alone. I'm terrified. I don't want to go out there.
It takes baby steps. Like I'm introverted as well. I have my moments. And I think the time when I was single, in the beginning, it was really hard to get back into the groove of not checking my phone and having a message from someone and not having my phone ring. Basically more of just like the phone or even like my computer, basically any technology, and not have my significant other or boyfriend at the time message me. Like that part I think I missed a lot, and that part was hard. And at night, just going to bed and not and my head lingers. But once I got past that and time keeps passing, and after the dating apps, I've learned to travel on my own. I've learned to go watch a movie by myself in the theater. I've sat down at a sushi bar and ate. At the end, it took me a good year or so, but looking back, that's one of my milestones of growth.
That terrifies me. Going somewhere alone. Like, it's the only thing I could do alone is shop alone, because I appreciate my own thought on my fashion, because I think I have decent fashion. If I go with others, I feel like I'm always wasting their time. So like I always feel guilty. So like if I go alone, that's fine. But eating alone or like going to the movies alone, that terrifies me. Like
I loved going to the movies alone because there was no one bothering me, and I can sit wherever the hell I want. Like
that is true. Like if you go with someone, you have to be like, oh, is there like 3 seats open or 2 seats open?
I don't have to share my food or popcorn, or I just sit. If I want to check my phone, I can kind of like check it real fast and put it down. Like the person next to me isn't gonna be like nudging me, like because there's a light shining. Like yeah. But
also, you fucking selfish.
You don't want to share your food?
No, I'm just saying that I don't want to share my food.
Joey doesn't share food!
Joey doesn't share food.
It's nice to just think about yourself and not have to think about compromising, and regardless if you go with a significant other or a friend or a family member, like.
Yeah, no, I get it to a certain extent. It's like treat yourself. Like,
yeah.
No, but I'm completely on Andrew's side. Like
I know you both are.
Even me as an extrovert, I can't do that. Like in school, like it would be like Thursday, Friday night. They'll be like, "Oh, you want to hit the bars?" I'm like, "Yeah, for sure." But I would never go by myself. As much of an extrovert as I am, I can't go to a movie alone. I don't think I've ever been to a movie alone. I can't do it. I don't know what it is about it. It's not like I don't know. It's just I can't do it. It's just I don't know what it is. It's just I can't.
I mean, like there's nothing against those kind of people.
Oh no, definitely not.
There isn't. It's just when I see someone eating alone, I want to go sit next to them and be like, "Hey," but because like I wouldn't want to be alone. Like, but then like obviously they want to be alone because they want to be alone. So it's like, like I'm getting like terrified thinking about eating alone right now.
Well, the only reason I mentioned that, or like all those things for me, is because like you mentioned, wow, I sound really confident. I wasn't always confident. Growing up, I was very much the quiet kid. I didn't have a lot of friends. I was always the teacher's pet, the one that just behaved, meaning I just didn't talk. So I didn't have trouble to cause. And growing up, that's who I was. And let alone dating, like if I had to go back into dating, God forbid, I hate, like I enjoyed it. It's fun, but at the same time, it is still terrifying, and it's also exhausting. And
it is exhausting. Like you have to put in so much effort, and like you have to build that connection, that bond.
Yeah.
On the flip side of that is not. It doesn't get easier after you become in a relationship, and I think Esther and I can both attest to that because it's just hard being in a relationship. There's a lot of work, a lot of compromise, a lot of talking, and a lot of just fighting for each other and fighting for ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about this just a couple nights ago.
Yesterday,
like we got into an argument and like the argument like took paths and like weird paths and like branches off, and that's my fault because I'm just a sporadic thinker. But it doesn't get any easier after building that relationship. If anything, for me personally, I guess just being an extrovert, building that relationship is actually a lot easier for me.
I don't know. I disagree on that. I feel like once you build that trust with someone, like, see, like that's the thing with me, like, especially with my ex right now. Like, we literally had no connections at all. It was like one in how many ever people in the world there are, like 7 billion chance of us meeting. Especially like since, like, we met playing games. I barely played that game, and on top of that, I barely ever add people too. And like from that, it was like from zero. And we built it all the way until like a year and 3 months, 4 months, whatever. Like, to me, like, that made it so, like, you know, you have that comfortableness, like, that you can rely on someone. Like before, like, she's like a lover. She was my friend.
Yeah.
And like you build that friendship.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what a relationship is, right? You build that friendship. But like once it's like stable, like that friendship relationship, I feel like that makes life a little bit easier. Even if you fight, because like no relationship is lovey-dovey every single day of the rest of your life. I honestly think if there's no arguments, it's not a real relationship.
Agreed.
Even if like you're arguing and all that stuff, I still think that makes it easier. Because like you have that person and it just comforts me in a way.
Until that person decides to leave you.
Well, yeah, that's what that's what I'm saying. Like I'm so broken now because like all that work that I like, you know, put into us, like what was it for now?
But she also put in work as well. Maybe not the equal amount of work, but she still put some effort into that relationship.
Well, no, yeah, she did. She definitely did. I would never say she didn't. But it's just like now I feel like I have to start all over. Like that's the thing I was agreeing on. Like it's so exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just fucking. I'm tired of it. Oh God.
Even like I was on Tinder, I was on Bumble, I was on Coffee Meets Bagel, and I think that was it. I think I was only 3. Even at that point, I was on it for less than a year, and I got rid of it. I'm like, I'm done. Let me take a break. I don't want to talk to anyone anymore. Or like, I don't want to repeat myself. It got to the point where I took notes on what I said to each guy so I don't have to repeat myself again. Like introducing myself and like answering questions of like what I'm studying or like where I'm from or like those small talk conversations. Under each guy, I wrote if I said it or not. So then I don't
repeat it.
Yeah, repeat it or make them feel like I'm not paying attention because I am. It's just I'm talking to multiple people at the same time. But yeah, it's exhausting repeating myself over and over again, going on the same first dates with different people over and over again.
Basically telling your story
over and over again. Yeah, it's dating's fun for the first 6 months for me, and that's it.
I'm sorry. I just never had to do anything like that.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I'm new to this too.
But like Andrew, I hope you enjoy. Like, I hope you look on the brighter side of things, and I hope you actually enjoy this and reflect on this time.
I want to like. Originally, when I got all this, like I was even telling JD the other day, like when I was like, "Oh, tell Esther to like give me connections, because like I need to make friends." Obviously, not now. Like I'm not gonna immediately jump into a relationship because I'm just not there. Having like that possible like, like connection to like maybe possibly like maybe we can start a conversation. Maybe it will lead somewhere, but like.
Initiating that conversation first is the hardest part.
Exactly, and like I know I won't. So like if I have a best friend's girlfriend who'd be like, "Hey, my boyfriend's best friend is kind of single right now. You want to talk?" That works. Or you know your sisters be like, "Hey, connection," but like something like that. Because like I won't find it where I live. I just won't. No. Okay, so I have nothing against other ethnicities, other races. It's just I feel like I'm most comfortable around other Asians because our cultural differences is too much of a barrier.
Uh-huh.
Like, if a white girl came into my house with shoes on, I would flip my shit. Honestly, I would. I'll be like, "What the fuck are you doing? You're dirty." And like I would kick her out of my room or like my house, apartment, whatever. But like all Asians know like you have to take your shoes off.
Yeah, for sure.
But like that's like the stupid things. Like I'm very picky over like stupid details like that.
I think being picky in this situation is better than not being picky, because I feel like if you're trying to build a relationship and trying to like make it into a future, then like you have to be picky with it. You have to be very decisive about who you want to be, because it's the person that you're trying to spend the rest of your life with. And if you're not picky and you don't find the person that you kind of connect with on that level, then it's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to pretty much fall short. And you don't want that. I bet your mom would not like that at all.
I mean, but like that's why I downloaded Tinder right now, because like I was in Illinois. Like I know there's Asians, and like if they were like, oh, where do you live? I'll be like, I straight up live in the whitest fucking state. I live in Indiana, but are you okay with distance? I'll throw that out there first. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm in Illinois all the time.
I wouldn't throw that out first. Just a little.
You wouldn't?
No, I wouldn't. Just because what if they're not looking for a relationship?
But like, I'm not into that. Like, I'm not into like just those hookups.
I guess no. Yes, I'm not either. I'm just saying that don't rush into things.
Well, no, yeah.
Yeah, like maybe once the conversation starts heightening and like it gets deeper and things, then yes.
Maybe I shouldn't have said it like that. I won't like tell them I'm always in a, like I'll straight up be honest about it.
Be honest with them, yeah, as you should be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I think dating outside as a student or outside of a big city is hard. Or even if you're in a big city and you're an adult, I think it's hard because it's not the only way for you to meet people naturally is like at the grocery store or at a coffee shop, and that's just from you doing your everyday routinely things and responsibilities. Like if you live in a small town or if I don't know wherever, like again, like if you're not in a more active town or an environment, you're not going to find those people as much. What I will say for you is, I mean, you have a dog. Use that to your advantage. Like, go on a walk or go to a dog park more often, or when you know where there's more people at a time. And like, yeah, there's not that many Asians where you are right now, but like maybe if you're at some, like hypothetically speaking, if you were in a different town or in a different city, like don't be afraid to.
Okay, here's the thing. I've researched around where I work, where I take my dog park, because like our facility owns that dog park, right?
Yeah.
And like I looked into it. And I know when it's busy.
Uh-huh.
I've taken my dogs when it's busy. And like, yeah, like I did it on purpose. And like, so like I know there'll be girls there. And they're like, my dog is really pretty.
Yeah.
And like, it starts a conversation.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't know. Like I can't pursue it more than just like, oh, like she's a German Husky mix, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I work at the Parks and Rec. Blah, blah, blah. Because, like, I don't know. Like, it's just, I get a different vibe. I don't know how to say it. It's very weird. Like, it kind of goes with, like, I'll never make that first move because, like, I'm not confident enough.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, once that conversation sort of, like, starts to get dry, oh, okay, I'll call Moro. Because, like I don't know how to pursue it, especially, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm not confident. Maybe I just need more confidence.
I don't know. I think there's certain environments that like promote conversations that go further than just like.
Yeah.
If you're at the dog park, you kind of just talk about your dog.
Yeah.
And the conversation doesn't really go any further because the social status or the status quo of said environment is not specific towards like getting a date. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And it's weird to be like, oh, you're talking about your dog. Hey, are you single? Like it's weird to like try figuring like what if like they're in a relationship already and then like you're just like sort of try hitting on them.
You are awful at dating.
Wow.
Just straight up, man. You're bad at it.
I could think of so many ways that you can honestly just
tell me.
Just start off with, hi, like, is that your dog? Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Do you guys come here like usually like pretty often? Well, we'll come like once a week or whenever we want or whenever the weather's nice. Oh, that's awesome. How long have you had her? How old is she? What kind of breed is she? XYZ. Have you had dogs in the past? So at the end, before you leave, just be like, do you want to trade numbers and want to meet up the next time we come back so our dogs can play together so my dog's not alone? Yeah, sure.
Okay, see, like everything right up until, hey, can I get your number? I've done all that. I can never get the courage to be like, hey.
Just focus. So then don't think about it as like you're trying to get her as a girlfriend. Think of it as like literally saying what you mean. Like meaning like you don't want to come to the dog park alone because if there's no dogs to play with, then your dog's going to get bored anyway.
So like I've done the part where I'll be like, oh, like when are you usually here?
Yeah.
Because like I see that our dogs get along. And like I've done a couple times where she'll be like, oh, I'm usually here Monday nights. and like I'll go Monday nights, and like we'll talk again. But then like that's it.
Okay, no, now I agree with Esther. You're bad at date. You're bad at this. Like if you're going back to the dog park and you see her yet and you continue to have a conversation, that's when you just like move it towards like, oh hey, do you want to grab a cup of coffee after this? Or hey,
So like
do you want to?
I can't get that confidence. Like I don't have that confidence. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't have the confidence to do that.
Or you don't even have to ask her for coffee. Just do a different conversation. Like ask her what her hot, like just be like, so what do you like to like? Oh, or just start talking about what you like to do. Start talking about TV shows that you like to watch. And if she has some comment to talk about back, that's an easy conversation and it's something that you like to do.
No, I feel like you guys think I just go there and don't talk after like I see them again. We'll talk. But like no, it just doesn't progress any further than just small talks at the park. So like there's no reason for me to pursue, and like I can't get that confidence because like I don't see that further progress going anywhere. I'm not some silent robot that just goes there and be like, oh, you said you're going to be here on fucking Monday night, so I'm here on fucking Monday night. Silence. No, like, I'll talk and make the conversation go, but then I feel like I can read a situation
Pretty well.
pretty well, yeah. And if I can tell, like, there's going to be no progress, like, I can't muster up that courage to, like, try to pursue it. Especially if I see, like, there's going to be no progress. Do you know what I mean?
I think so. I think I get it.
Do you know what I mean?
No. See, if we went on a date and that's how you did, I'm like, bye. Like,
Shut up! You swiped right for me.
Like that doesn't matter.
Like that's totally different from like going to a dog park meeting someone like that.
Yeah.
You swiped right, I swiped right. Obviously, I saw something in you, and you saw something in me. That'll be our connection. For me, meeting someone randomly at a dog park like that and like talking to them and still not finding that connection, like that's different. I think at least. Do you Moral, quit breathing so loud.
Oh my God, Moro. I'm sorry. What was the question?
But like, do you see what I mean? Like if me and her matched on Tinder, there's that connection. You know, like obviously there was something that made me swipe right, made her swipe right.
Yeah.
But like meeting someone at the dog park, and you seeing there's no connection, does that not make sense?
I made one of my best friends over our dogs.
You know, so going, I don't know, man. Like,
okay, maybe I am just bad at dating.
I think it might be. That's just again the lack of confidence, which is something that you just build towards and you practice, like what Esther said.
Yeah.
For me personally, that's how I got my girlfriend before Esther. It's not like we met on a dating app. It's just she was my mom's friend's daughter. And then we just started talking, and that's how we started dating. And that's just kind of how it went. Like you said before, you said that when you start talking to people, you're able to build that that relationship and that conversation. It's just getting to that point, right? That's difficult for you.
No, it's
see. Then you have no excuse. If you can get to that
I'm not
place
saying
where
no to that.
Oh.
I was trying to think. I feel like because I have so much trust issues, it's hard for me to decide, like, is this person even going to be worth it? It's a bad way for me to view it.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's a bad way for me to view, like, meeting people and stuff. But then, like, I'm sick and tired. Like, that's just from me, like, constantly being broken down from it. Like, like I don't know how much more I can take. Like, that's just, like, my personal thing. Like, nothing about, like, the dating thing or meeting people. It's just my personal experiences.
But just meeting people in general.
Just meeting people and, like, our friendship just ending after, like, all these efforts that I've gone through and, like, what we've built. Like, I don't know how much more I can take of it. Like, me going, like, another, like, 4 years of getting great friendship and then, boom, nothing.
Okay.
I can't deal with that. Like, I know, like, it's different for, like, everyone, how they view friendship. Like, oh, like, I can just meet them and we'll be acquaintances. But, like, for me, like, I have a very tight circle. And, like, and the people that I am friends with, like, I am friends with. Like, I can care less about the acquaintances. Especially after, like, I moved from Illinois to Indiana. Like that's where like everything started happening. Because like all these close friends that like I knew from childhood, they all just disappeared. Like every connection I had just vanished. That hurt me really bad.
Okay.
And then just, growing up in a white ass state, being like the only Asian, that was hard because you deal with fucking ignorance every day.
Yeah.
So like that just like turns you away from trying to make friends. In college, I made 2 amazing friends. We drifted apart, like that hurt me again. And like we recently, restarted like talking again. It's not going to be the exact same anymore.
For sure.
For me, it's just all these past times of like building all these relationships, all that stuff. Like, I don't know if I could take anymore.
But are you gonna make all those bad and heartbreaks and rough times in your life, like, are you gonna overgeneralize and make that assumptions that's gonna be like it every time? Because I hate to break it to you, dude, but life isn't always gonna be rainbows and glitter. Like, people come and go. Like, that's part of life and that's part of growing. Like, there's a reason why you guys aren't friends anymore. There's a reason why you guys aren't relevant in each other's lives. You're growing. If anything, that's a good sign. Like, that you're growing. You're changing. You're not the same person that you were once before, 10, 5, 8, 2 years ago.
Yeah, I understand that.
That's the conversation that you and I had a lot. It's always about growing in and out of friendships. It shouldn't be viewed as a bad and negative thing. It should be, you should see it as like you're growing and you're progressing, and this person has helped you move on into the next step of your life.
Well, yeah, you told me like you should always like learn from your experiences. People are in your life for a reason.
For sure.
But like for me, like my experiences led to depression and suicidal thoughts. So there's very different pathways that we view it.
Okay.
So I think I agree with JD. Like, JD, yeah, but I don't think he, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you empathize.
I don't empathize well in the situation, for sure.
Because what I will say, Andrew, it is hard. My first heartbreak was from friends. It's not from a boyfriend.
Right.
I literally had a breakup with one of my girlfriends in college. I remember that day, and I was crying. I was hurt, and it was awful. And I remember that feeling to this day, and it's hard. But again, that doesn't mean that you should look back on it and look at it in a bad way, like JD said. But that also doesn't mean that those moments, that everything that you said is invalid or that it's not true, because I will empathize with you on that part and tell you it's hard. I have a harder time losing my friends than I do with my boyfriend sometimes. No offense. Not you. I don't think that would happen to you, but
Thank you.
Like, come on, throw him a bone, man. Throw him a bone.
But
I completely agree with Esther. I can't empathize because there are certain relationships that I've been through, like even friends and best friends that we've grown out of. But for me, I never took it hard or difficultly because I've been blessed to have another person immediately afterwards. Does that make sense? So before I met you, my best friend, I considered my best friend, quote unquote, was Daniel. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Okay. Yeah, so me and Daniel were good friends because we grew up together from when I moved to Chicagoland pretty much until like high school. But when that relationship, that best friendship, it wasn't even that big of a deal. It was just like, kids' best friends kind of thing. But after that faded, I had you. And even with my significant others, like before I had Esther, I had Sarah. And it just kind of revolved and like rotated into those new relationships. Sometimes Esther brings it up where she says like, you've never had heartbreak in your life and this, so you can't empathize with me, which I completely understand and I completely agree because I can't. I've been lucky and I've been spoiled enough in my life where I think I saw those relationships beforehand and I'm like, okay, I don't like this relationship. This isn't working for me. But I always found another individual that I was like, you know what? I can put my trust and I can put my relationship and all my efforts from Daniel to you, Andrew, or from Sarah to Esther. I just always had that feeling where like, you know what? This relationship isn't my thing. It's not going to go anywhere with me and I can see it. So I slowly move past it where I don't hang out with them as much anymore, and I move towards other people that I am drawn to.
So see, like that's where I went wrong then. Like even from like early childhood, that's not who I was. I didn't make all those connections. I was a kid that got made fun of a lot. I was bullied, you know? I never had that opportunity to make all those friends or have that backup friend or whatever. So like mine was, if I made that friend, I cherished that friend.
Okay.
If that friendship ended, that broke me. It just constantly, it was like that.
Interesting.
Why are you laughing?
So you're not confident. You can't be alone. You're not independent.
Well, okay. Well, first of all, I'm not a baby.
But I guess what I will say, and like correct me if I'm wrong with you, JD, confidence, independence, being able to be on your own and be responsible, those are hot, attractive features. Like when I met JD, I was telling him I was going to Peace Corps.
Yeah.
Like am I doing it with anyone? No. Like I'm doing a passion that I want to do. You keep saying that you've gotten your heart, you've been beaten down over and over again in life, but Andrew, you're still here today. You're employed. You have a roof over your head. You have a pet that you love and you adore. You have a family that's, I don't know what your family situation is, but you have a family. And you've gotten back up is my basic point. And I want you to focus on that and think of like, how can I keep feeling taller? How can I keep putting my head up? Those are the features that girls find incredibly hot, regardless of what you do. Like, let's say you say like, oh, I work at retail part-time. Oh, is that all you do? Yeah, but here are my dreams. Here are my passions. And here's the reason why I'm doing it, because I still need income. That's a responsibility that shows that you're still being an adult. You know what I mean? There's so many things that you can sell yourself with.
No, I agree to like a certain extent, but like I have to disagree because like I don't show my like, oh, I'm not confident. I don't show that to the public. Like I'll fucking fake it till I make it, because that's just how I grew up. I'll fake a smile every day, whatever. I'll fake my emotions. I'll fake anything. You know, like I'll look confident. Like I'll be confident. Like at work, people wouldn't know that like I'm fucking depressed because like I'm so fucking cheery and all that stuff. But like, I'm only saying this now because it's with you guys, you know. But like that's like the truth though. Like, but like on the outside, like I won't be like, hey guys.
Well, yeah, that may be the case. But at the end of the day, if you're lying, take that back. At the end of the day, it doesn't necessarily matter at that point how the other person sees you. It's about how you see yourself.
Okay, we have to have a separate conversation after this. Because there's something that you don't know about me that I don't want to share right now, maybe next time. That maybe might change the way you respond to it, but we'll talk after this.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah. But like, yeah, like I do get that, like you have to accept yourself and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I've worked on that before, and like I will continue to work on that, but it's just, I don't know.
It's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like long story short, it's hard.
Just relationships, dating, and just trying to be and doing all these things like as an adult is like one of the hardest things that I don't know that I've had to do, and it just sucks. It's hard.
It is.
And just no one tells you that it's this hard. No one tells you like, hey, you're gonna experience heartbreak, or hey, you're gonna do this, and this. Like it never like comes out that way. And I don't know. I've as a kid, like you go to like these groups or whatever, and then you see like these adults, and you think like, oh wow, like these people are amazing. Like they're doing this, and this. But little do you know that they're probably going through the same stuff that we are, if not worse. I think that's a big reason why we started this podcast, is because like we don't know exactly what we're all going through, but being able to sit down at a table and talk about like the things that no one really told us in school or like throughout our lives. Like I think this is how we do it. We do it through friends and do it through conversations.
Okay, so I'm drinking a freshly squeezed orange juice that Esther squeezed, and a whole piece of fucking orange just came into my mouth. Like I was like, what the fuck? Oh.
There is a little bit of pulp in there.
No, it was like a big orange piece.
It might have been a pulp. It's a long pulp.
Oh, God. Confused the hell out of me. Okay.
Anyways, I think that would be a good time to end the episode. Yeah, I think, again, just to recap, dating is hard. It sucks. Be more confident, and I think not just you, Andrew, it's just everyone, and me included. It's just like having that confidence is like, it makes everything a little bit easier. Just a little bit.
Yeah, go out and eat by yourself.
Yeah, go out and eat by yourself. Well, I just want to thank you guys for listening into this episode of Up Until Now podcast. This is episode number 5. I just want to thank Esther for coming in and just talking with us today. Hopefully next time we'll be a little bit more prepared with another mic, but we'll figure it out as we go. So if you want to get more of Up Until Now podcast, you can always find us on social media at Up Until Now podcast. That is our social media handle name. If you want to send us an email, you can go ahead and send us an email at upuntilnowpodcast@gmail.com. And please, if you do have the chance and the opportunity, please rate, like, and subscribe to our podcast. It'll really help us out. And yeah, if you want to send us things that you would like for us to talk about, that would be amazing too, because Andrew and I are slowly but surely kind of sort of running out of ideas. So really appreciate it. Anything you guys want to say before we sign off?
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you again. And we'll talk to you guys next time. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Get down.